Well, Raider Nation, the end of the season is quickly approaching us, and we have several players that the Raiders absolutely need to take a look at re-signing. And we're going to go over an article today by Tashawn Reed of The Athletic and what he thinks the Raiders should do and not do. Also, I have a sleeper player that I want to talk about at the end of this video, so make sure you stick around for that because he is really starting to impress and not getting enough attention. And I have even somewhat hated on him in the past, but maybe he is starting to prove me wrong, which happens from time to time. Also, want to thank today's sponsor, which is Southern New Hampshire University. Guys, if you want to learn about the best way to get an accredited degree without spending tens of thousands of dollars extra to go to a brick and mortar school, it's the same exact degree as you would get from any other school. Go and check out Southern New Hampshire University. Link is also in the description. Doesn't cost you anything to check them out. Highly recommend them. And thank you to Southern New Hampshire University for sponsoring this video. So let's get into this article today by Tashawn Reed because it is very interesting. Raiders told to let go of $12 million starter, walk-in free agency, and this is pretty interesting. So that is Marcus Epps that he is talking about here. In his article, he goes on to say the Las Vegas Raiders are in the midst of their worst season in over a decade, and they are likely major changes coming after a very good 2023 season. The defense has taken a step back this season. Much of that is due to injury, but there have also been some players who have regressed. Safety Marcus Epps had his season end early due to a torn ACL, but he was playing poorly before the injury. The 2-year, $12 million contract he signed in 2023 expires after this season, and the Athletic's Tashawn Reed believes the Raiders should let him walk in free agency. Marcus Epps was a good starter in 2023, but he sharply regressed in 2024 before suffering a torn ACL early in the season. He'll be 29 next season, especially if the Raiders spend big time on Trevon Moehrig. It could make sense to go younger and cheaper at the other safety spot. And we do have some good safeties in Palomao as well as Trey Taylor, who we've had on the show. Epps has been a team captain and very good against the run, but his struggles in the passing game make it difficult to rely on him. If the Raiders do look to re-sign him, it would likely be at a discount, and I would say a steep discount. He does have value as a team leader and a veteran, but perhaps the team could bring in a younger player with upside and eventual replacement. I agree with that. Just let him walk. Let's go with Trey Taylor. Let's go with Palomao and let these guys just cook. And we can also grab another guy in the draft this coming draft season as well. The Raiders are urged to retain Robert Spillane. Duh. Only makes sense, right? He's one of the best linebackers in the NFL right now. He's always top 10 in tackles, and the dude has over 5 receptions, which Tashawn Reed will mention here. The Raiders have a number of key players on expiring contracts that they would likely hope to retain. Linebacker Robert Spillane has to be atop the list. The team has had a very hard time finding capable linebackers over the last decade, and Spillane is the best they've had in a long time. I agree with that statement 100%. We have sucked at the linebacker position. You cannot let Robert Spillane walk. You've got to get him a contract. I'm surprised the Raiders have not done it before this point already. Reed believes Las Vegas needs to bring him back. I agree. Spillane has played at Pro Bowl level since signing with the Raiders in 2023, Reed wrote. He's one of the team's most influential leaders and should be re-signed in free agency. Spillane was top 10 in the NFL in tackles last season and is on pace to do it again this season. He's also had 5 interceptions since joining the team. The Raiders should strongly consider giving him a long-term contract before he reaches free agency. Again, I don't know what Tom Telesco is waiting on. Get this deal done. Other free agents Raiders should retain. Many of the Raiders' free agents are on the defensive side of the ball. Cornerback Nate Hobbs, defensive end Malcolm Kuntz, and safety Trevon Moehrig are all players who have done enough to earn another contract. Now, Kuntz might be the trickiest as he has missed the entire 2024 NFL season due to an injury. His only productive season was last year, so the Raiders may be willing to give him a 1-year contract and nothing else. Hobbs is an important piece and is one of the better slot cornerbacks in the NFL when healthy. Morang had a slow start to his career, but he has come a long way in the last 2 seasons. He has cemented himself as a very good safety, and considering the Raiders used a second-round pick on him when he was drafted, they may be more inclined to bring him back. I agree with everything that Tashawn is saying here. You definitely want to bring back Robert Spillane. You got to bring back Nate Hobbs, and you got to bring back Morang. Let Marcus Epps walk. And then when it comes to Kuntz, well, he's a 50-50. You offer him a 1-year prove-it deal, and you retain also K'Lavon Chaisson, as well, as he has been balling out and is one of my sleeper picks, but not the sleeper pick that I want to talk about right now. So the real sleeper player that I want to talk about is Tyree Wilson. Now, he was drafted 7th overall just almost 2 years ago. In his first season, he was absolutely terrible. There was a lot of people, including me, wondering, is he actually even going to be worth it? Is he a bust? Just yet again, another defensive end that the Raiders pick high in the first round who absolutely does nothing in the NFL. Well, his second season started out just as bad as his first season. However, in the past 4 or 5 games, he has picked up 3 or 4 sacks. He has really dominated when it comes to the rush, and he is continuously getting pressure on the quarterbacks. The only downside with him is that he relies way too much on his bull rush because he is one of the strongest dudes in the NFL, and he feels like he doesn't have to do anything other than just run his offensive lineman right into the face of his quarterback, which sometimes works, but sometimes it doesn't. What I would like to see out of Tyree Wilson this coming next year and the rest of this year is him start to incorporate some swim moves, to incorporate some spin moves, to incorporate some double hand swipes. He needs to have more moves in his repertoire if he is going to be more successful. And I would love to see the Raiders just move him permanently to that defensive interior lined up next to Christian Wilkins this coming next year. I think he'll excel at that, number one, because he is so big at 6'7", 275 pounds. He has the length to be an interior offensive lineman, but because he's so big, he is slow off of his first step, and that is a hindrance to him at defensive end. I see him much more in the realm of a Chris Jones. Even let him maybe put on some more weight, get him up to 290 pounds, get him bench pressing another 150 pounds, get him squatting another 200 pounds, and then let him work that defensive interior next to Christian Wilkins. And those two would really be dominant, especially against the run. That would close up the running gaps and allow Malcolm Kuntz and K'Lavon Chaisson and Max Crosby to eat out on the edges, as well as our linebackers to get in on linebacker blitzes, as well as safeties, because you have to deal with these two dominant interior linemen. I think that's where Tyree Wilson's career is going. If you guys agree, drop a comment down below. Now that you've stuck to the end of this video, I just want to tell you this. If you guys want to win this $1,000 plus prize that we are giving away on my other channel, Black Rain Official, I will leave a link down in the description. This bag right here from Eberly Stock is their Switchblade. It is full of all kinds of EDC survival gear. If you guys want to get this, just click on this video right here and it will take you to my other channel. Watch the video, like the video, comment EDC down in the bottom for your chance to enter to win.